Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Happy 4th of July. Hope you guys are having an awesome start to your day as we're getting rolling here. Got you an update on what is going to happen today as far as the weather for your outdoor activities, whatever you got planned out there. We're going to give you the latest and greatest information and try to figure out what's going to unfold today. I'm expecting some pretty active weather for a large portion of the country. I'm not really anticipating any kind of outbreak of severe storms or anything like that, but there is a system that's kind of riding this ridge of high pressure in the middle of the country, what we call ridge riders, that are really going to provide some active weather, maybe some flooding, severe weather for certain parts of the country. And then down here in the southeast, some tropical downpours are expected with a stalled frontal boundary that's really going to promote some afternoon showers and storms that might dampen some outdoor activities for the 4th of July. But we'll try to figure out what's going to happen here. If you guys have not subscribed, certainly consider doing that. Like the video if you like it. Hit me up on social media. It's a great way to stay up to date. I talk a lot on the Southeast on social media, but I also talk about other areas of the country too, especially when it's really, really active in other areas. But hit me up there if you want to interact on Twitter or Facebook, TikTok. Sometimes I'll make a video or two on there, or certainly Instagram, certain things like that. If you guys got anything I can pray about, please put it in the comments below. It gives me an opportunity to pray over it, and it gives others an opportunity to do so too. We can all look out for one another and glorify God doing it. So let's get rocking and rolling this morning. Let's take a look at the water vapor loop. A tall upper ridge has really built all the way up into the Dakotas, and it is really just going to bake portions of the country today. We'll talk about that also. I'm talking about this section of the country. We'll get a little bit more specific here in a second. You got a stalled frontal boundary down here in the Carolinas. This will provide some afternoon showers and storms for you guys. And then along this tall ridge, which you can see right into here, you can see the jet kind of shooting way down here down the western U.S. Then it kind of shoots way up here. Then it kind of buckles back down south. Actually, beautiful weather expected for the Northeast. We'll talk a little bit about that also today for your 4th of July, with dry air really dominating the air mass in this region of the country as you're north on the good side of the jet stream, if you will. But you already got a lot of showers and storms moving through portions of Minnesota, Iowa. This will clear the area. The atmosphere will destabilize, if you will, and then some more storms will fire up. And these ridge riders, these kind of shortwave troughs, these pieces of energy will continue to ride the upper base of this upper trough. But let's take a look at this. Huge slight risk today for a large chunk of the country. This includes big cities like Minneapolis, Chicago, Milwaukee, and Green Bay, and every little small town or city in between. You guys are going to be under the gun for the potential for some severe weather today. And then you got this area in Montana, and the western Dakota is also a very small section of Wyoming. We'll talk a little bit about that also. And then in the light green, a general risk of storms, but just because you're in the light green, that don't mean that you necessarily have a lesser chance to see storms. You guys could see just as high of a chance of storms as these guys probably up here, but the severe element of these storms will not quite be there. Just a real tropical air mass. Man, we got an inch of rain at my location yesterday in about 30 to 45 minutes. It just unloaded. And yeah, it's just that time of the year, guys. So let's keep rolling through this. This is watches and warnings. The areas that you see in the orange, that is heat advisories. And this is for today. It is going to be hot right in the heart of the country, the entire state of Missouri. You might as well say the entire state of Arkansas, northern Mississippi, western Tennessee, northern Louisiana, areas of eastern Texas, areas of eastern Oklahoma, the entire eastern and northern half of Kansas, the entire central and eastern parts of Nebraska, and then southeast, South Dakota, Iowa, 80% of the state, and about 80% of the state of Illinois. Heat advisories today, and this is right under this ridge. You just got a moist flow along with these hot temperatures. You bake alive pretty much under the influence of these upper ridges that form. You guys have had a hot summer already. I think everybody's kind of had a pretty hot summer, but I think you guys in the middle of the country have had it worse. So please be careful. High temperatures combined with this high humidity. We'll talk about how hot you guys can get today in this video. As far as the rainfall, this is going to be a big deal too. It's going to be a pretty active day. It really is. You got the monsoon season kicking off here with this this trough that's digging, and then pieces of energy flying the boundary of this trough with this ridge really flexing in the middle of the country. This will provide a lot of showers and storms in this area. And then with these showers and storms riding this the upper portion of this ridge, you're going to have kind of consistent areas of showers and storms going over these same areas over the next couple of days. So you actually have a slight risk. That is at least a 15% chance of flash flood guidance occurring in 25 miles on any given location in these yellow areas. The marginal is the same criteria, but a 5% risk. So you also got a marginal risk here too. So there's going to be pockets of areas where these storms can form down here and in the southeast, and then they might reform over the same areas. It happens sometimes. So you guys could get a quick inch and a half of rain, and areas that are really flood prone could get hit hard. But watch out in and around Chicago, Milwaukee, southern Wisconsin. These showers and storms could really keep going over the same areas. So let's talk about the southeast, and we'll kind of shift more west. So stick with me, guys. I know you guys really wish that I had areas of these videos where I could just section off each part of the country. But guys, that does take time. I don't do this full time. And really, I am just constantly moving with a full-time job, a family, things like that. And it's hard to get super detailed as far as making these videos so much better for you guys. But let me tell you, that is a future thing I'm going to add. There's a lot of things I'm going to add. The P.O. box will get added next week when I can get to the post office. Life is crazy when you have a family, but it's very rewarding. So I'm looking into the future to making these better, as I always have and will continue to do so. But anyways, the southeast today, we'll start this around 10 a.m. Eastern time. We'll keep this rolling here. And here's that stalled boundary into here. First off, you're just going to have pop-up showers and storms in Mississippi, the southern sections. If you're vacationing along the Gulf Coast, you guys are going to see some pop-up downpours for sure. But that doesn't mean the day is ruined. It's that time of the year where, yes, if you see a 50-60% chance of rain, guys, you can't just cancel the entire day. This summertime, it's not like winter where when there's a 70 to 80% chance of rain, it is just going to be cloudy and just a consistent rain all day. You got to remember, it's the summertime. It's probably going to be sunny 80% of the time where it's daylight outside. And then there might be that hour or two where it's cloudy or storming. So that's why it's important to have a reliable radar, especially in pop-up season, meaning when you have these pop-up showers and storms. But here we go. We keep moving. Here it is. Look at South Carolina, areas of North Carolina, Georgia. They're really pop up in nature, and I really think these will be outflow boundary driven, meaning one storm's going to pop up, get a kind of a circular outflow to it, and then that outflow, and if you follow me on Twitter, I provide examples of this. It's hard to explain it on here unless I pull up, an old radar image, but these outflows are rain-cooled air, and they actually initiate more storms to fire up around it. So it's very hard to explain. But I think some storms are going to form in northeast South Carolina, areas of eastern North Carolina, and then the outflow is actually going to push storms probably east to west across South Carolina. The coverage might not be as widespread as this, or it might be a lot more widespread than this. But we just have to see how this is. So if you're in South Carolina, I really think will be a hot spot today for some showers and storms, but also areas down here too throughout the evening hours. Anybody in any of these states right into here could see pop-up showers and storms today. So that's why it's important to have a radar around. Listen to your ears. Listen to your ears, that don't make any sense, but listen with your ears to any thunder that you hear in the distance. But the Northeast, let me tell you, you guys, a fantastic 4th of July as you are under the influence of troughing, cold front, and dry air, no real chance of rain, maybe a shower or storm in far northern Maine as you celebrate the 4th of July. But in general, a nice day, beautiful, beautiful temperatures, beautiful dry air, beautiful conditions right ahead of this. And then I think later tonight, some showers and storms might enter the picture in areas of western New York, PA, things like that. But the south central U.S., a pretty quiet day. Like I said, some showers and storms in Mississippi and southern Louisiana. But the entire area is just going to be very warm, very uncomfortable today, and not really any good chance of rain for Texas. So, I'm sure that there's a lot of areas that you probably don't need to shoot off any fireworks because it's very dry. But just take the precautions you guys need. I'm sure you guys know all about safety out there. So, unfortunately, no rain today, but at least it will be dry for any outdoor activities. Okay, so we're going to talk about the north central U.S. We're going to take a look at the NAM, and then the HRRR model. Most of you all know me that I normally show the HRRR model, but with these Ridge Rider setups, what I've seen this year is the NAM does better. So I'm going to look at the NAM, and then we're going to look at the HRRR model. So Chicago right into here, Milwaukee into here, Green Bay into here, Minneapolis into here. So I'm trying to mention every city. I know sometimes I wouldn't call it a complaint, but some criticism about not mentioning their specific city. It's very hard to do that. It really is. And, as I grow and as I have more time, I look to be able to focus more in on specific cities, but just by request right now. So hit me up if you got a question about your specific town or city, and I'll do the best I can to try to forecast it. But anyways, here we go. We're starting off around this morning. We already have ongoing convection. This will continue, but this will kind of fall apart and then re-energize as the atmosphere here in Wisconsin, the Great Lakes region in general, northern Michigan, Michigan in general, begins to destabilize. So the leftover energy from this morning that you see right here will begin to refire up, if you will. So this will continue to move through. It might fall apart. It might fall apart, but just heavy rain up here in northern Wisconsin, northern Michigan, and then maybe another piece of energy fires up here. And it's going to be interesting if the NAM is correct, because if it is correct, then maybe most of the Ohio Valley, northern Ohio Valley, southern Wisconsin, Michigan will be in the clear today. Really talking about the southern regions of those states I just mentioned. But maybe later tonight, a nasty squall line might develop, kind of like what we saw a few weeks ago in the southeast with that big heat wave with these ridge riders that kind of moved through and caused a big significant wind threat. This will move through, and you got to watch out for damaging winds. And one thing I did not mention is the fact that, hey, there is a tornado threat with a slight risk, right? I keep forgetting this for some reason. So a 2% risk of a tornado threat in any given location, 25 miles in any given location. Then you have the wind threat. But listen, I would not be surprised if you folks up here in the Midwest, in the areas of the Ohio Valley, this gets upgraded to a hatched, maybe a 10% risk of winds approaching 65 knots or higher in 25 miles in any given location. That's winds pushing 70 to 75 miles per hour. So you got to watch out. Hail threats there too, so I need to mention that. But the evolution of these storms is going to be very complex to try to figure out. It's just definitely going to be a radar watching day. But, if you're in Green Bay, you're going to be dealing with some showers already. When you're shooting fireworks off, I don't know if it's illegal or not in some of these states up here. I really don't. I know here in South Carolina, we're grateful that it is not illegal to shoot fireworks. But you turn around and go into North Carolina, it is illegal. But watch out Green Bay a little bit later this evening. I'm talking about after dinner time. Maybe you're wrapping up any 4th of July festivities or things like that. Nasty line of storms could move through. Now, watch out down here in Milwaukee too. Chicago, southern Wisconsin, northern Illinois. Even though the NAM never really shows this getting to you guys, it could. Then we get into the overnight hours, and this nasty line of storms per the NAM kind of makes its way through the state of Michigan. So we'll have to see what happens with this. We look with the HRRR model, and it's got some big storms ongoing right now in areas of Minnesota. And then this will continue to make its way into Wisconsin. Watch out Iowa too, down here, as we're getting into the late morning hours until around the midday time frame. And then, the atmosphere is probably destabilizing right in this area in Michigan, Wisconsin, northern Michigan, probably northern Illinois. And then these will move through. They will try to re-intensify. But notice, if you look at, this will be probably 4 p.m. Central Time right here. You compare this with the NAM around the same time frame. Looks totally different. So this is that same time frame per the NAM, and then you compare it with the HRRR model. See, it looks totally different. That's why this is very complex. The HRRR model likes the idea of maybe some stronger to severe storms around maybe Madison, Wisconsin, places like that. This continues to move through, has some big storms all the way down to Chicago. This would show almost what looks like a kind of semi-discrete supercell moving into Chicago. We'll have to see if that verifies. This actually, the HRRR model, looks less linear than the NAM. NAM is a lot more linear. Linear meaning a line of storms. The HRRR model does not like the idea of a line of storms, just broken up convection storms as we're getting into around the time where you're shooting fireworks, the sun's starting to go down this area. A lot of strong to severe storms likely in areas of Wisconsin, eastern Wisconsin, and then making its way across Lake Michigan into Michigan. So we'll have to see how this evolves. It's a tricky situation. It really is. And with these ridge rider setups, with this ridge buckling all the way up here into the north central U.S., trying to figure out how this is going to evolve. The HRRR model and the NAM always argue with how this is going to evolve. But I can tell you another risk today is a lot of rain. This is the National Weather Service, so these are the experts, right? Saying that, hey, down here in southern Wisconsin, maybe an inch or two of rain between now and tomorrow morning. I would say the National Weather Service in general, as far as rainfall, severe weather, is leaning towards the HRRR model, just based off some things I'm seeing. Where they have the area where severe weather can occur, where they have the heaviest rain forecasted, it looks like they're leaning towards the HRRR model. So they are the experts, and that might be the case. But it's going to be a rainy day. But, I think the first half of the day in Wisconsin will be okay, decent, especially if you're in the eastern part of the state. But I do think the eastern part of the state is going to get rocked a little bit later by some nasty storms. But definitely some rain up here in northern Michigan. Some rain will make its way into the entire southern half of Michigan a little bit later overnight. So, for my folks here in the northern plains, you guys could see some big storms a little bit later this afternoon, but trying to figure out where they form, it's going to be kind of more of an issue as they will be more discrete in nature. But kind of the same area that got hit pretty hard yesterday. In Montana, will get hit hard again. Maybe an area of storms moving from southwest to northeast will whip through the state and then make its way through the central and then eventually to the eastern part of the state. But you also have a slight risk down here into South Dakota. Always almost want to say South America. Down here in the South Dakota. But you guys might not even see a drop of rain. We'll just have to see. But I think this storm kind of rides the boundary of the ridge and then it starts to sink back southeast after moving northeast. So I think a little bit later tonight, that's why they have a slight risk down here in the Dakotas. Maybe a complex of storms moves through into the Dakotas. And, really talking about northwest South Dakota, southwest North Dakota. So I'll have to see how that evolves. But the temperatures today, very warm, pretty traditional 4th of July type forecast for the southeast. Temperatures in the upper 80s and lower 90s with high humidity more than likely. But I tell you what, the northeast, temperatures in the 70s, 80s, low humidity. The higher ridge tops of the Appalachian Mountains, Adirondacks, will definitely just be in the 60s and just a crisp air mass. It'll feel more like fall. But big time heating will work its way all the way for the entire state of Michigan, except the far northern areas of Michigan. I think you guys will heat up quick this morning, but then some rain will move in and cool down the atmosphere, obviously. But big heating all the way up here, big boundary setting up, moist flow into this region, big time heat, temperatures in the upper 90s to low 100s for any state that I'm circling right here, Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Kansas. And then to go along with that, you have high humidity. So let's get this working through here. We'll go on and work our way all the way until about the warmest time of the day, right around right here. You got dew points reaching the 60s and 70s. So you got high humidity with these temperatures getting into close to 100. So look at this cool little boundary right here. Actually, some dry air might work its way into North Carolina a little bit later today. But from the North Carolina VA border points north and northeast, beautiful air mass in place today. It might warm up, but dew points only in the maybe 40s and 50s today in Virginia, and then locked into dew points into the 40s, maybe even 30s for the rest of the mid-Atlantic and northeast. It's crazy. I think remembering back to last year, we had a really dry air mass even all the way down here in South Carolina. I think we woke up to temperatures in the upper 50s in certain parts of my state, which is pretty rare for early July. But, you're experiencing this. Remember, this is not temperatures. These are dew points, but very moist air, nasty day as far as just if you like the high humidity, high heat, then you'll like today across this portion of the country. But that's all I got, guys. Thank y'all for tuning in. Hope you guys have an awesome 4th of July. Stay safe out there. Don't blow off your hand. And enjoy your day. God bless.